Domk.
Are you serious?
Friday nights, 11 till midnight. Indie, local, rock, Domk.
All clear?
97.5 KMOD.
Welcome to the Domkcast with Lunchbox and Promo Brady. We got some good stuff lined up for the upcoming weeks. Get a load of this. Josie Scott, formerly of Saliva, going to do a Domkcast with us, talk about life after the band. We're also going to be talking with the band Hinder the next few weeks or so. They got some new music out. But tonight, it's all about Rocklahoma, and it's all about the band Goodbye June, who performed earlier today on the River Spirit Casino stage. What's going on, guys?
Doing good, man. How you guys doing?
Guys doing all the festivals in May. Of course, you did Rocklahoma earlier today. You also came from Rock on the Range, Columbus, Ohio, last weekend.
This starts our 4 or 5 week tour we're on right now. So we're starting with Rocklahoma, and then we end all the way over back in Birmingham.
Now, Brady and I were just watching the music video to Daisy. Well done, by the way. You make me want to go bowling.
Yes.
I could be wrong on this, but towards the tail end of the music video, is that the landlady from Kingpin making a cameo?
Dad, I don't think it is, but maybe it looks a lot like her.
It looks a lot like her.
It does. You know, I watch that now. Now I want to go home and watch the movie Kingpin.
We did have one of the guys off of Workaholics, the TV show on there, the guy named Wayman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a blast shooting that video. It was a really fun day.
Your new album, Magic Valley, which I freaking adore right now. It's like my favorite album. For the last 3 days, I've been listening to this album. It took you guys 3.5 years to make it.
Yeah, roughly. I mean, we when we first started out on that album, we weren't partnering with Interscope. We weren't really working towards that. We were just doing an album, and then as we started working with them, we started adding a few more things to it. And, things behind the scenes kind of held it up, and it was a long process, but we loved it, man. We loved working with our producer, Paul Moak. It was a really cool experience. And
somewhere in the middle of, we actually had most of that album recorded.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the middle of it, Interscope kind of caught wind of us and got interested in us. And that's kind of what added on about an extra year to get
wow.
out.
Because you can tell you guys put a lot of time into it, because when you first started, it's with Bamboozle. So it's like you had a Saturday night juke joint club, sweaty, dancing, having a good time. And then it goes into, oh no, it's like you're being churched and you're like praising and like, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to kick it off. Wanted to have a raw, dirty, gritty rock and roll record that kind of hit every facet of rock and roll, be it upbeat songs or ballad-esque type songs. We just wanted to kind of hit all the feels.
I think it was reading you guys grew up playing Southern gospel and blues, and you can definitely tell that definitely influences your sound. It's fun.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Now, the band, you guys are all cousins, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're all first cousins.
And whenever you guys are starting out, you guys had a loss. Tyler's brother died in a car accident. Talk about how that impacted you guys' lives and overall the band.
Yeah, I mean, we all were playing music before, just in different ways. Like Brandon and Landon were playing a lot in church, and they had kind of a band of their own. And then I was playing more in blues bars and stuff. We had always wanted to be in a band together, and I think that moment when my brother passed, it brought us together at the funeral. And then the guys ended up spending a lot of time with my family in southern Indiana. During that time, we started writing a lot of music just to kind of pass the time and try to heal a little bit. Yeah. That brought us together. So we decided to move to Nashville in 2009, and when we wanted to make it official and be a band together, we named the band Goodbye June because my brother passed in June. That's kind of where the name came from.
Okay.
Memorializes that time when the band started.
See the correlation there. Now, Tyler, I was reading you were going to school to be an accountant or an engineer, and then you decided to join the band. You know, we always talk about in radio, someday I'm going to have to get like a real job. You know, like I feel like that was almost like you were like studying to be an engineer, and you're like, man, I want to go have fun. I want to be in a band and be a rock star.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of it was a little lighthearted, but it was more to me. It was more when my brother passed. It was like a kind of a light switch, and I just chose a different trajectory in life because I felt like I knew where I was going. You know, with like being an engineer or whatever. Like I knew what that life would be like, and I wanted to change it up because life's short, you know?
Now, your family is very religious, and you grew up in religious. How was it like for your rest of your family to deal with this when you decided to go in this direction instead of being like ministers or in the choir or whatever you got going on like that?
This is Landon. I think at first, especially like my parents and Brandon's parents, they were a little more against it. Growing up when we were kids, rock and roll was the devil's music.
I know, I understand that completely.
We're only supposed to listen to gospel music, So at first it was a little hard for them to digest, but I think once we put on our first indie EP, which is several years back, not even out now, and they started coming around and they started realizing that, hey, we're actually not that bad at this, and we're not horrible guys either. Now, honestly, everybody's 100% on board, and they couldn't be more supportive, and we love our family. So, yeah, it's a complete 180.
I know it's kind of hard because my mom's a preacher, so I grew up in the same way. Yeah, so
I didn't know that, Brady.
Oh, yeah, my mom's a preacher. I was at church in Cleveland, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So when I was 13 is when I discovered Metallica, and I had to put a speaker underneath my pillow to listen to it, and my mom found it and freaked out. Totally threw it out, had to burn it. I mean, the whole nine. So when I got into radio and started playing rock, she didn't listen.
You went to a burning?
No, my mom had to burn it. It's like my mom burned my Metallica CD when she found it.
We used to have church services when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. I remember they'd have a big fire going and all the young people throw their center CDs.
Yeah. I did the exact same thing.
So weird, dude.
It's so weird because now my mom listens to me when I'm on the radio. She turns it down when the music comes on, but she turns it back up when I talk.
I have similar experiences with my mom because I grew up in a Baptist church, and my mom volunteers on a weekly basis, does a lot of stuff with the kids group and everything. And I remember whenever I told her I was going to work for 97.5 KMOD, she's like, "Ooh, they play a lot of like heavy metal and stuff, like Pink Floyd." And I was like, "What? No." So there's a constant game. Like I'm trying to force her to listen to me in the afternoon. So every time I'm over at her house, I get in her car and I flip it to 97.5 at KMOD every time. And then the next time I'm over at the house, I get in the car and it switched back over to, the Christian rock station in town. I'm like, come on, Mom.
I read that you guys had a run-in with Mark Hoppus of Blink-182.
Yeah. It's not that great of a story. It's just really me being starstruck. That's about it. But, that's just the first thing that came out of my mouth, and you read it. I won't repeat it.
It's like I want you to, but I don't think you can. You might be able to change the words a little bit, but you can go ahead and try to tell it.
Well, what's the story behind it? Did you meet him at like a bar, or what's going on with it?
We were backstage. We were playing this festival, and then the band Lit was right after us. And we ended up having a couple beers with those guys, and I guess those guys know Blink-182 pretty well. So we were kind of all just going to their green room or whatever, and I wasn't paying attention. And to be honest, I was probably pretty drunk, and I look up somehow, and Mark Hoppus was right in front of me. And the first thing that came to my mind, and it was like an involuntary reaction, and I said, "Holy beep." I'll let you guys.
We're on a podcast. You could say it.
No, that's not big. I just said "holy cocksucker."
Oh, okay.
Right off his face. And, he was completely unamused, and I didn't apologize. I just finished shaking his hand, and I turned around and left. I didn't say a word. So that's my Mark Hoppus story.
It's way better than my Mark Hoppus story, so you got the one up on me, man.
Well, Mark Hoppus is like the sane one in that band. Tom DeLonge is like chasing aliens somewhere, apparently.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are signed to Interscope, which is pretty badass. And you guys are kind of like really one of the only one or two rock bands on that label. So how was that?
It's been cool, man. It's been a fun process because the fact that they don't have a lot of rock, it's kind of give us a little bit more, I wouldn't call it freedom, but they're very open to whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we love you guys, and, we are completely different than anything they have on their label for the most part. So it's been nice, man. Being with them over the last year and a half has been a really great partnership. It's been a really good experience for us. They've been great. They're awesome. We love it.
Now, do you see like Eminem and Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar in the hallways and like high five and stuff?
Yeah, we all hang out every time we go to.
Because that would be kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie.
We were just with Dre and M. I like to call them little Skittles. A few weeks ago. No, I'm joking.
No, but if you guys can work out a collaboration, I'm not gonna lie, I would be very ecstatic about it.
I would be excited. Probably wet my panties.
Oh, goodness.
You guys' album Magic Valley, are you guys planning on releasing any other music off of it? Because Brady and I have been listening to it nonstop all week. Well done.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, about the only thing we have planned, and it's crazy, is this came about a week after. We released the record May 5th, and then a week after we got the call that we were getting a national Budweiser commercial with a song that we wrote called Liberty Mother. It wasn't supposed to make the record, and it just all came down the pike so quick we decided to make it a bonus track. A lot of the people who bought the record on May 5th or downloaded it from iTunes, there was another song added on May 10th that not a lot of people know about. But yeah, you'll hear it. I mean, they're playing it. I've heard it like 6 or 7 times already, like just on every channel, like every sporting event. It's crazy, man. It's just kind of started happening, so we're proud of that.
There's not too many bands out there who actually, there's a lot of people who can sing, but not too many people, because me and Lunchbox talk about it all the time, that sing that have soul. Like when you sing, you can feel it, you know their emotions, you know they're telling the truth, you believe them.
You feel it in your veins.
Yes. And you're one of those bands, and how, is it because of the background of being in the gospel and the Southern, all that helps you guys get to that place?
This is Landon. Yeah, I mean, singing for me is, that definitely had a huge impact. I mean, my dad is a music minister still, and he always kind of forced me to sing in church when I was a kid. And I did not want to at all growing up when I was 9, 10 years old. But, now looking back, I'm glad he did that. But also, I think just going through the whole process of moving to Nashville, and we're all about writing honest songs. Every lyric we write is either something that's happened or something that's affected us in some way. It's pretty easy to sing stuff that you actually care about. And to show that soul and that emotion that way if you're honest. So I think that's probably the best answer, too.
Well, once you guys are done doing this tour, you should come back to Tulsa and play the Cain's Ballroom, because that place is perfect for you guys.
Oh, we love it, man.
And there's a band that you should have that's from Oklahoma play with you guys. They're called Taddy Porter, and I think you guys will get along magnificently.
We know Taddy Porter.
Oh, you do? Love those boys.
I met him one time a long time ago.
Yeah.
At a festival. They used to open a bunch for J. Roddy Walton. I guess they're really
Yeah.
friends with J. Roddy. And that's kind of like, I'm a big J. Roddy fan personally. And we just kind of connected through that mutual love of his music. It's been a long time, man. It's probably been 4 years since I've spoke to anybody from Taddy, but yeah.
Now, you guys are obviously doing the festivals right now, but do you have any touring planned coming up in the upcoming months?
Oh, yeah. Well, we are, we're doing a 4-week tour with Bad Flower. Right after Rocklahoma, we hit 4 weeks on the West Coast, Midwest, and South. So
awesome.
We're out. We're away from home for about 4.5, 5 weeks.
If you make a stop back here in Tulsa, you definitely have to come up to the KMOD studios, play a few acoustic songs for us on Dump.
Absolutely. We love Tulsa. I've only been through there twice, but I love it.
Guys from Goodbye June, they're at Rocklahoma earlier today on the River Spirit Casino stage. You guys staying in Tulsa, or is it on to the next show?
Well, we have to drive 8 hours after our
San Antonio. We have a festival.
Yeah, we got to go to San Antonio for a festival the next day. Yeah, and then we start and we play House of Blues, Dallas, Houston, and Austin, Texas, and then we make our way to California for a bit. So.
That is a drive.
No rest for the wicked.
Well, yeah, go out and check out their new album, Magic Valley. Guys, thanks for calling in.
Hey, thanks for having us, guys. We'll see you soon.
Tulsa's Rock Station 97.5 KMOD.